This was a really masculine house. It was in desperate need of an upgrade. It was cracking plaster walls, it was popcorn ceilings, but decoratively it was very dark, and it really just didn't suit the personality of my client. This client is very heavily influenced by travel. She falls in love with the textures and the colors and the motifs that you see. Over the years, she has collected so many objects, and we really needed to create a really beautiful showcase for all of her items. The best way is to start with a really neutral shell. I also put panel molding throughout the house, a classic chair rail, classic profile, because I love the tension between classic elements in the bones and then sort of more rustic, more ethnic, more global pieces mixed in there, and modern touches as well. In the living room, we decided to use the space a little bit differently. There was a family room in this house, so we chose to make the living room an adult space. A more intimate space for 4 velvet club chairs, a place where people can sit and have a drink before or after dinner. Instead of designing the typical built-ins flanking the fireplace, I opted instead for a set of gold etageres. They're a little bit modern and they add just a touch of glamour, and of course it provided a great space for the much-needed display. My favorite piece in this project was actually designed to solve a problem. There was a rad under the bay window, and it really became a lot of dead space. So I designed a cabinet to look like a Chinese chest. We painted it cherry red, and now it is used as a server, and it's used just as a beautiful place to display objects that she brings home. The opening to the dining room, we actually had to make it larger. And it was really important for us to create really beautiful eye candy. So there I chose dining room chairs. They're actually a takeoff of an old Biedermeier design. But what I really loved about it is the decorative scroll on the back of the chairs. And they add just a little bit of an exotic touch when you're sitting in the living room looking into the dining room. The dining room came with built-ins, which we just sprayed in a different color. But it was a great opportunity to showcase lots of the things that she brings home from her travels. The bench was already there, but we topped it with a velvet cushion and then took cuts of an Indian blanket and turned those into pillows and mixed it with some other fabrics. One of the little gems of this house was working on the entryway, and I installed some cement tile from Mexico. What I loved about it is the curves in the pattern were a nod to the curves on the dining room chair and the rounds above the fireplace. Just that little hit of tile creates a huge impact, and it sets the tone for the rest of the house. You'll see throughout the house there are a lot of motifs that are repeated, from the tile in the foyer to the living room rug to the backs of the chairs in the dining room, and as you see in the kitchen, the tile that we chose for the backsplash again is a Mexican cement tile that has major impact in that kitchen, and it creates a more global feel in what is otherwise a traditional kitchen. The great thing about this kitchen was that we worked with what was there. It was really all about a great paint job, amazing backsplash, new counters, changing the sink, getting a spectacular faucet, and really just transforming it cosmetically. At the back of the house is a great mudroom, and it was an opportunity to use just a little bit of tile. So we took the same tile in the foyer and placed it throughout the mudroom, and it went from dark and traditional to fresh and global and creative and interesting. One of my favorite pieces is the pendant. It's made in Africa, it's handmade, it's hand-pierced, and it's just an amazing ball of metal that casts incredible shadows on the wall. I think what I want with this project is for you to come into this house and actually see and experience my client's love of travel and fashion. Creating a look that is curated from objects that come from around the world can be very difficult. It's really a very tough balance to strike and to not end up with something that looks like a souvenir shop. And so this is an example of finding the right balance of the shell, the classical elements, the modern elements, and then mixing in those treasures that you find when you're traveling.